What's up, everybody? It's your boy Richie Casual, friendlycasual.ceo, and welcome to Unscripted, where we talk about a plethora of topics coming from you, the community. And this week, we are continuing our series on starting your own streetwear line or any fashion line for that matter. And we're going to continue with part 3, which is basically branding and marketing, initial marketing. All right, so you want to go ahead and make an initial marketing plan and a branding plan. They actually go hand in hand together. These are the quintessential steps, probably the most important steps to your brand, because if you don't market, you're not gonna sell anything. I know a lot of you guys are looking for how do you produce stuff. We're gonna do that in part 4, but this week it's all about branding and marketing. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so what is branding? Specifically, branding is the consistent visual aesthetic of your brand. We're talking about the primary colors, the secondary colors, the accent colors, what your logo is going to look like, what the copy is going to look like, what the overall imagery of your brand is going to look like. All of these things are actually necessary in determining what your brand is going to look like across all of your digital and print media. You want to know what your fonts are about. You want to know the spacing in between your logo. You want to know the space that your logo occupies. You want to know what you can and cannot do to that logo. Do you want a word mark logo, which is basically a type logo? Do you want an icon logo, which is basically an image logo? What are you doing as far as your brand is concerned? Because the minute that you figure out all of those things, you're gonna go ahead and make a legislation for your brand. Legislation for your brand, basically you're gonna make a brand book. Now I'm not gonna sit here and tell you everything that goes in a brand book. There's 1,001 things that you could put in. There's some things that you could omit. Once you make that piece of documentation, you're gonna go ahead and do your initial marketing campaign, because now you have direction, because you have a branding book. All right, so points of interest as far as that I think that you should know. If you're not a designer, it's very important that you know the difference between a rasterized pixel design and a vector design, especially when you're logo making. If you're logo making and you're making it in Photoshop, you ain't ready. You need to go ahead and get a designer. Every designer knows that for logos, we go ahead and use that in Illustrator. Why? Because Illustrator is a vector-based program. What a vector-based program basically does is it allows you to scale any image that you make within the vector program. So you can't just input a photo in there and this will work. But any image that you make within the vector program, you can scale as big as you want, as small as you want, without losing quality. If you don't know how to do it, you need to go ahead and get a designer to do it for you. And every designer that's watching this right now absolutely knows that, because vector-based designs are the best designs. And anybody who's a printmaker out there knows that they're like, yeah, we need vector-based designs for the most part, unless you make a big Photoshop file that you plan on printing. Also, vector-based programs also help you with color separation. So there's that. So all of those things matter when it comes to making these brand books, because that brand book needs to be pristine. And there's a ton of other reference material out there. Just Google it and do that brand book immediately, as soon as possible. And this is going to help you with the next thing, which is initial marketing. All right, so initial marketing, what is that? Initial marketing is just a fancy way of saying promotions. Now, there's a couple of ways to do promotions, and you might be saying to yourself, how can I do promotions, Reggie, without actually having clothing? Because if people see my designs, they're gonna think they hot, right? No, not all the time. Some people will see your designs and really hate because you didn't target it. You didn't target them. You just targeted anybody. Every time I see somebody putting their message out on a video that's popular, like, yo, check out this brand. 1, that's spam. 2, nobody cares. That's the most least effective way of putting your brand out there. You're ambitious, I'll give you that. Applause. But you're not actually, you're being lazy with your marketing. So basically with promotions, what you're gonna do is you're gonna create buzz around your brand without actually having a product. How you do that is with campaigns that are centered around guerrilla marketing. Guerrilla marketing uses a couple of tactics. You can use promotional material using entry point items. You can use the influence of B influencers, not A or S influencers. S and A influencers are basically celebrities and high profile people that require you to pay them for them to wear your clothing or something. But B influencers only really require you give them stuff for free. And then the other marketing is social media marketing, of course, and we're gonna go over that very briefly because most of you guys know what social media marketing entails, and it's very easy to wrap your head around. So let's go ahead and get into guerrilla marketing using promotional items and be influencers. All right, so using promotional items, basically these entry point items, somebody actually asked that question, what are entry point items? Entry point items are items that are low cost that you can get a lot of, that you can eventually sell, but they're a lot easier to give away because you get a bunch at a time. These things include stickers, lapel pins, bottle openers, pens, like writing pens, all these little things that you can get a lot of without paying an arm and a leg, and then you can just give them away in promotional packages and then put them on your website as things that are entry point. People who want to be a part of your brand, they can buy this $6, $8 thing that you have a lot of that you didn't spend a lot of money on. For example, there's this brand Pentrill. Pentrill banked its entire brand off of an entry point item, which is the lapel pin, and their profit margin is so incredibly high because they can sell a pen for $10, $12, sometimes $20, and they only make them for about, I'd say at most, like 70 cents. Like, it's really cheap to make lapel pins. So these are the same things that you can do. You can create these high profit margin pieces that you can just give away to people to get entry into your brand, but make sure that they know what your brand is about. So if you're going out there and you're handing out these promotional materials, make sure that you have like 3 items in there, maybe a bottle opener, maybe a key ring, and then maybe a lapel pin. And then you're gonna have a little card that tells about your brand, and on the opposite side, it's gonna have all of your information to follow you. So you gotta give to your customers as much as they're gonna give back to you. You cannot just be like, my designs are dope, people are gonna like them, so once they see them, they're gonna just buy my stuff. That's why you never start with product first, because product first means that you got to market your product, and then you got to search for the people that are going to be buying your brand. So you don't want to do that. The second thing that you're going to do, that you could do, is using be influencers. Be influencers are people who are not super famous but are respected in their community of the people that you are targeting. Say your brand is about dance. Target dance teachers. Maybe it's hip hop dance. Target hip hop dance teachers, because guess what? They're surrounded by students all the time. And the reason why you use these kind of respected individuals in your target market is because they are already respected and people are going to ask them where they get their stuff. Imagine if you give a t-shirt to a hip hop instructor who's a part of your brand, and he's the quintessential image of your brand. You give him a t-shirt and it says something, and somebody asks him, hey man, that's a dope t-shirt, where'd you get that? Oh, I got it from this brand. Oh, what if 3 other people in that same class, hey, where'd you get that? Oh, I got it from this. You could just go here and go get it, right? He's not a person who's a part of the brand. He's not selling your shirt. He's basically has a contract with you, and it makes it visible for people other than you going out there having to hustle your brand. Start giving your stuff giving these small little things to people who can be influencers, either a t-shirt or a sample or something, so people can be a part of your brand and they can see it out in the world before they actually, gravitate towards it eventually. You want to make sure that you have this groundswell of support, so when you open your store, there's a lot of people going there and then they buy into it. Unless you know somebody famous. If you know somebody famous, then have at it, Hoss. Go ahead and get that famous person to wear your stuff and maybe you'll blow up, but that's not a guarantee. Last thing is social media marketing. Social media marketing is very, very easy. You go ahead and you can use ad. I know a lot of people out there don't like to use money. Go out there and use the ad stuff that they have out there. Instagram has Instagram ads. Facebook has Facebook ads. YouTube has YouTube ads. Put your stuff out there, man. Create a production around your brand. Use YouTube. Use anything to get this buzz around your brand. And use the ad network. Don't buy fake followers to make sure that your brand looks bigger than what it is. That is a big turnoff. That's fake from the get-go. Don't go out there into other people's pages and say, check out this dopest brand that you've ever seen. And I know it's your brand. Yo, I just checked out this brand. I hate that. I hate that with a passion. Yo, I just checked out this dopest brand. It's so crazy. You need to check it out. It's this website. I know it's your brand, dude. Like, I know, right? Don't do that. Go out there and directly connect with the people that you want to connect with. Don't rely on the digital space all the time. What social media does is it gets your exposure out there so people can visually see it in different mediums, right? And it grows your network on a virtual scale. But you basically want to act local but think global. Have a local feeling about you, like, yo, these are the people that we down with, but we got a global strategy, right? We want to go ahead and open our arms to everybody, but we want to focus on the people that we are catering to. These are very, very important things that you're going to do with social media marketing, because if you don't focus on a certain group of individuals and you try to focus on everybody, guess what? You're going to lose everybody. You're going to come off as annoying. You're going to come off as fake. You would rather have 1,000 people completely down with your brand than to have 10,000 people who are just like, it's cool, because they're not paying attention. And especially if you buy them all. If you buy them all, then nobody's interested in your brand. It just makes it look like you're popular, and you're not. Have a groundswell of support. They want to feel like they're the first to get on it. I don't know when people started, oh, if I look bigger, then people will think I'm bigger. No, you get the people the small people, the people who are like, yo, I like this. All right, I'm down. I'm gonna buy it. So I don't care if there's 50 people or 2 people. I'm down with it. Grow it like that. Get out there. Talk to people. Be a part of communities. Where's the community at? Talk to them. Give them your say. Be a part of the community and you can grow. So these are the things that you want to do with your brand going forward. Next week is all about production and making the brand that you want. All right? If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them in the comments. That's it. And as always, keep it casual. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. And we out. See you guys in a minute.